everyone, I'm Ronan Unchained. I've been very fortunate and privileged to be in a position that I've seen the first 4 episodes of Dune Prophecy, the newest entry into the Dune live-action universe, created by Frank Herbert and now in TV form from HBO Max. In terms of Dune, the legacy and the IP, I've seen and loved the first 2 Denis Villeneuve films. I read a portion of the original Frank Herbert novel. And on the offshoot of seeing a little bit of the David Lynch film and knowing that they did another TV show a while back called Children of Dune, if I'm not mistaken, I don't know too much about the lore, except some common stuff, if you will. That being said, going into these first 4 episodes, I dug it. It's complex, it's deep, there's a lot to digest, and you're not bored at all. You're engaged. The vibe is seductive in a way that you want to take like a few minutes just to accept what you take and then discuss it and then immediately go to the next episode. If you know what it felt like to me watching it, it felt like Godfather, Prime, Game of Thrones, and a little bit of Andor mixed into it. It is that awesome. Emily Watson as Valai Harkonnen leads a army of intense, badass, deep cast members. You've got the likes of Jessica Barden, you've got Travis Fimmel, you have Olivia Williams, you have Joby May and Mark Strong in the mix, alongside other upcoming actresses, actors that I think will be getting more opportunities in storytelling and other avenues. And just, oh man. And to top it off, the lead of this story is a Harkonnen. Now, if you've seen the first 2 Denis Villeneuve films, you see where the vibe is for the Harkonnens. Luckily that with Ms. Watson leading this cast charge is that this story, which is a thriller, revenge, political, espionage type tale, takes place thousands of years before the age of Paul Atreides, or Lisan al-Gaib, as people become to meme his name. Now, the first episode is intense. It's a lot to digest. At points, I did have to take my notebook out and be like, okay, this is who this is, and this is where the factor's at. Okay, what's at play? And it's power trip. It's the exchanging of power and seeing how there's a goal for a what should I call them for now? A system of Sisterhood, and where they want to direct this galaxy universe, and yet you have these powerful houses who are, to say the least, aching to be in charge and have the big stick, if you will. The production on this show, again, I think we kept saying that like, yo, this is TV, and yet it looks as good as some of the movies being put out now that have quality behind them. And from the sets to the music, which, folks, the music doesn't harp on what Hans Zimmer created, and yet it's a connection to it, but it's its own thing with Prophecy, this story at hand. And what can I say else without spoiling stuff? Okay, there's an element of echoes of the universally now known lore of Dune. You know, you got sandworms, you got the Freeman, you got Blue Eyes, Power to Yao, and something Bay of Command, if you will. Echoes of what is now pretty much known over these past few years is set in this story, and yet you're just hearing it just bounce off wherever these characters' plots and their motives are directing them. And there's symbolism a lot with, I almost even just showed it, but let's just say that you keep an eye out with what the frame in front of you is showing you and seeing of what it looks like and what it may hint at for the future or potentially in the past. Again, I'm basing it off the films, and yet I'm going, this is a great story on its own thus far with these first 4 episodes, and yet it's a cool blood relative to the two Villeneuve films, and it's cool that these exist in the same universe. The benefit is that it's thousands of years beforehand, so you don't have to worry about making sure everything lines up to the movie, and yet perspective goes along the way, which is one of the themes about this one, of who is around to tell the story and from what point of view, and is it accurate? Is it propagandized, if you will? Is it seductive to lure enemies or to trap allies? And I just love how, again, not familiar with these characters at all, and yet I had connection to these. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, episode 3, folks, with what they do with the Harkonnens and the journey we go on them, let's just say that there's a character, and that's all I'm gonna say is this: there's a character named Tula that goes on a arc, on a roller coaster that we were just like, what the hell? And it's in a Dune story, and I was in awe by it from my perspective. So I would highly recommend for you to keep this on your monitors, keep a lookout. If you dug those first 2 films, I'd be surprised if you didn't continue onward with the show. And maybe this is your first entry. I would like to hear your thoughts eventually, what you think of it as maybe first time going into the Dune universe. But yeah, I give it thus far an A. Hopefully it sticks the landing, but with the material that's been given and with the performers at hand and the creatives behind it, I fear we're fixing into adding another great season of television with this show thus far. So that's my review of Dune Prophecy. Hopefully, if everything goes as planned, there'll be more coverage of the show with other guests involved. And if you dug this review, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. I want to reach 1,000 subs before Christmas, and share it. I want the enthusiasm to grow more. If you're a Dune fan or not Dune fan, share it, express yourself. And the more the channel grows and people connect to it, the more my crazy ideas I have can be come to fruition. And until then, deliver them to paradise. Listen, Nagai!